Hey gamers, thanks for tuning in to Fire Chicken Review. Today we're going to be talking about Clank Legacy 2, the Darkest Magic campaign that's live. Should you back it? Should you not? And my thoughts, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on Direwolf Digital going to crowdfunding, Kickstarter in this case, for the first time as an established company that normally goes through retail. And yeah, so digging right into it, I was going to say right off the bat, as you can see, I backed Clank Legacy 2. The spoiler aspect for that is I played the original Clank Legacy, and for me, it was my favorite so far Legacy game that I played. Played with a group of four. We had the same people the entire time. Lots of laughs, and I enjoy deck builders. I already enjoy Clank, so I'm already biased to enjoying the game. My view of this is that it's already doing quite well. It's been out for a day or so here, so I know that some people might think Canadian is funny money. So it's raised close to 400,000 US and over 500 Canadian equivalent because of our terrible exchange rate with over 4,000 backers. It's a very popular IP because it's taking two IPs, the Penny Arcade. And taking the Clank, which has been out for quite some while, and so I think it's already a successful campaign and will do very well. So again, I backed it because I enjoyed the first one. I'm very happy to get all the extra stuff and to go from there. Now, digging into it, there's a short little video. I won't play it here. It's just a 30-second intro video. That doesn't give you any information. But right off the bat, when you scroll down, they're saying, hey, welcome to Clank Legacy. They try to give you a little bit of the cheese. Some people were saying that they don't enjoy the graphics here because it's a little bit more cartoony in their view. I think it's fine. And this is just this part here, but you have to understand that, and I think the cover art's really nice. Is that if you check out Penny Arcade, and I can link it for those that aren't familiar with it, but if you Google it, it's pretty quick to find. This is usually like the art style that they have, so it's just matching that. But let me know in the comments what you think of the art style. The pledge is very straightforward and it makes sense. There's only two pledges really, with also like the dollar pledge that everyone loves. Is basically you can pledge for $99. I love that's always a thing instead of 100. We're gonna say $99, or you can pledge for 180 or $179 to get the previous Clank Legacy, the original one, and the sequel here. So $99 is where most people are going to be at. As you can see, there's about 3,000 backers. So with only let's see here, 500 backers that back both. And in my honest opinion, you most people shouldn't get this, even if you don't have the Clank, the original Clank Legacy, unless you're unable to find it in your local area, because your local area depends on when you add on the shipping and the taxes and stuff like that and the VAT for some locations here, that's going to add up to more than probably what it's worth, even though it's like they say it's a discount from the MSRP. It is a bit, but local game shops are going to have sales and whatnot. If they have a copy, because I think the original Clank Legacy, when I look at local like Canadian stores, I think it's around like 120 Canadian plus tax. So it's hard to say. If you all want all in one bundle, but they do mention in like the facts and I think in the comments that they're willing to like ship out potentially. I think you can get the original game earlier if you want, but you can also just go straight to their web store for that. So again, most people are going to back for this, and they just have this. I like the little ID cards they use. Just continue with that idea. So in this one, they say, hey, here's the contents of the game, which is always good for creators to just put out. So their Direwolf Digital is no chump in this. It may be their first campaign. They've all obviously followed and looked at other campaigns and how they were successful, because showing the contents up front for what's inside the game is always a key item. I don't think that this is laid out the best. I think they could have done a little bit of a nicer job laying this out for people that aren't familiar with it. For me, I'm like instantly backing it, but like, hey, these character journals, that's interesting. And then they talk about the character tuck boxes. I would have liked to have seen this maybe even shown what the character talk boxes looked like from the first game a little bit better, because this is a little bit more flat. And actually, I enjoyed the tuck boxes from the first game quite a bit. Um, so it's just a little bit of a flat image. So it's not really selling to me. I'm like, is it actually a tuck box? Is it just like a flat thing? And some people may be wondering, without spoiling it, they're like, "Wow, this board seems empty here." There's reasons, obviously, for it. It is double sided. The other aspect is like lots of tokens and stickers. Like this is just doesn't bite for me. Like it doesn't look appealing. But that's just me, right? It's not. I just find out the layout, how they have done this, isn't the most appealing. But hey, it's Clank, and it's a really good book of secrets. Super excited. And then they talk about the crew. They do a good job with the crew, making them look nice. The images, and I'm looking forward to these characters. Very curious what these journals will be, and it's interesting that you get to, and it's something that they've been doing in legacy games. You get to basically name these characters, so that's fun. That's a lot of fun. And they're saying what's new. So one of the things that's going to be new is going to be like some co-op and some boss battles potentially. So the idea of doing boss battles in Clank is a cool idea. So even if you're not interested in the legacy aspect, what happens is once the game is beat, as they mentioned here, it will be a normal Clank game with that you have changed around. So there might be some people that are like, hey, I don't want to play the legacy game, but others that said, "Hey, I've completed it. I'm done with Clank," and so there may still be some value after you beat it to trade it or sell it off for people that want to play Clank but don't want to play a full campaign with individuals. And later on, they're going to be showing like some of the other bosses going to be coming up. So there's or some of the bad guys and the bosses, like I say, and cooperative scenarios. Now, another thing here is that there's been some interesting debate within the comments. I mean, it's still early on, still within the first few days, but there's been talks by backers that they're not sure if they're interested in having a scratch off cards. Especially, and I totally understand because these are going to be scratch off cards that are going to be in your deck, and I'm going to most likely sleeve my cards. I come from playing competitive card games. I enjoy sleeving my cards, and it's going to be scratching off. I always find a little bit interesting, and people compared Pandemic Legacy, and I can agree because I've played them all, and Pandemic Legacy Zero was like the newest one, and the scratching off in that one, and hopefully it's not as this bad, when you were scratching off in like what would be like your passport in that game to see if like bad things would happen, it would scratch like deeper through, and it would actually scratch through the image that you're trying to see. So I'm sure it won't happen here. Hopefully, you do a better job for that. But it really like can damage the card, and it's just not appealing. So some people were asking for potentially stickers or something else. I mean, I know that the first stretch goal was literally coins that you can use to scratch the cards off. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think the company is going to change it. For those that are asking, there's a small potential, but I don't think they're going to change it at this time because this game, let's be honest, is most likely fully ready to go. Outside of potentially a few small things here and there, artwork, of course, is going to be changing. But I suspect that if they're probably already at like 80 or percent or more ready for this game. Like this game was ready to go, and that's why a lot of people were curious. Like, why not just go retail? But again, I'll talk more about that at the end. So that's the scratch off cards. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you excited for that, or is that a gimmicky thing that you don't like having in your card games? So the stretch goes. For those that have been following it from the start or just new, unfortunately, they're doing the typical aspect that a lot of campaigns do is that they didn't reveal the stretch goals until the initial money came in because they weren't sure what are we going to make 100,000, are we going to make 200, are we going to make a million. So they were planning to make the stretch goals actually stretch out for the entire campaign. So that's why you'll see the numbers like oh, this doesn't seem too bad. They're gradually increasing. But I've seen some campaigns for other companies where like I've seen like a $250,000 in between stretch goals. insanity. Like in one starting over, like the first initial stretch goal starting over $2 million, but it was like 100,000 to initially fund the campaign. So stretch goals are always this interesting aspect. Most of them, for those that back a lot of games like myself, we consider them like basically like they're baked in. Like a lot of the times they're planning to have all these. If the campaign does extremely well, they might add a few more things and stuff like that. Or players may suggest something that they're like, you know what, we will add that. Like potentially the scratch off card, maybe due to player feedback or backer feedback, I should say. Maybe they'll have an alternative for people that don't want that, that just to have a sticker, and I or potentially having a alternative card that instead of scratching off, it's just fully revealed, or the chance to buy that type of stuff. Who knows? But the stretch goes so far. We have the coins. We have some foil cards. People also talked about that. The thing with foil cards is obviously for a lot of card gamers like myself that play competitively, we know that a lot of foil, depending on how it's done, it can really make the cards curl. That means that they won't be straight. So we'll have to see how that is. I mean, there's just a few foiled cards. It's also interesting that they're doing a promo pack, and I'm not sure how I fully feel about that. There's going to be a promo pack that includes original promos for like the first Clank Legacy, easily to throw in because you can mix up the cards. Really, it's not going to be like the end of the world. So I'll still keep the promo cards, but it's interesting that they're putting in promos from a previous game, and they're saying in case you miss out. I'm not sure. They'll probably be talking about later in the update. I'm not sure if this means that it's free. I think it is. It's going to come in free. I think they might have mentioned that already to get the previous ones, but it's just a little bit odd for that aspect. Acolytes, yeah, this game has gone a lot of acolytes. Like, let me show you right away here. So I brought up the original. When I say this game, I mean Clank Legacy. So it's rated 8.6. It is again. I'm biased. I thought this was my favorite Legacy game. I thought they did a really good job. I love the humor. I thought it plays extremely well at 4. I was just talking to another local person in my area, and they said they play at 3 and they're having a blast. Have 2 scenarios left to go, and it's a nice weight, right? So it's only a 2.7. It's fairly easy to get in. And my recommendation is try out original Plank, just like Pandemic, where if you try out original Plank, it's the core mechanics. Like this one does feel like the core mechanics, and the non-spoiler aspect about the Legacy is like there's just a lot of humor and a lot of things that get add to it. And this game, rank overall, is in the top 100. It's the number 24th game. That's the original Clank Legacy. And depending how they do with this one, I think that they have a chance of also being in the top 100 with the sequel. So I think this game is going to do extremely well and easily will be available in retail. So lots of acolytes. You can join the Discord. I like their funny warnings here about the rule book. I have not clicked on it because I don't want spoilers for myself. Usually, most Legacy games, though, they there's portions of the rule book that are purposely blank, and there will be like stickers that you add, and I'm sure that'll be no different. I'm pretty sure that was in the first one. It's been a while since I played it. Most Legacy games add stuff, and then they have a thing saying new to Clank, and that is will bring you to this page here, and it's just saying, hey, you're new to Clank, and it brings you to their webpage. Smart move. Say, hey, try out the other games. It's unfortunate, and it's a bit of a common practice that it's unfortunate that they don't talk about like how Clank is actually played, which is fine. I mean, you can YouTube it and whatnot. I mean, there might be some people that are brand new, so it would be nice if it was on there. Just a quick little blurb about like what you would normally do, especially maybe there's people that haven't played the Clank Legacy. But I fully recommend check out YouTube as you're checking out this video, and you can see if you haven't played it before, like how Clank's played. Very straightforward. I believe it's normally your starting deck of like 10 or 11 cards or so. You'll draw 5 cards, do some move actions, buy from a center row, and all that good stuff. Like very generic basis, but it's a very fun game. I've played a lot of the game, but there's a lot of the different versions of the game, both like the fantasy and the space one. And the only one I really haven't touched yet is Catacombs is like the newest one, and they talk about it. See, like they're trying to sell you, say, hey, check out all these expansions, check out how well they did. And Catacombs, I heard was a lot of fun, but I just haven't had a chance to play it. So shipping and taxes, this is where everyone's very interested. So when you click on there, that's going to bring you to this page here, and I'm actually pretty excited. Now, they're doing a smart thing here where like taxes aren't being like added into the pledge; it's going to be after the fact. But the shipping, I wish they talked about this a little bit more so that was up front. They say that there isn't group pledges, but as you can see here, from their estimated shipping, this is kind of like I wish they actually like put this on their main page and made it simpler for people to like see. This is just like a quick like slap chop of just putting this up here with an Excel spreadsheet. But the shipping overall looks really really nice compared to a lot of games that have been coming out in other companies. So I'm in the Canadian area here, and I am in this region here where it's going to cost me because I'm backing. So it would potentially cost me from like 16 to like 25 US dollars for one copy. But look at this. So if you back four copies, so the max that you can back, because I asked in the comments, is four copies in backer kit of the game. So it's going to be 525 US for myself because I'm in the Ontario region here, and per backer. So I'm going in with three other people in my local area, and we're only paying 525 US, potentially probably a little bit more than that, and then the taxes, right? But compared to paying like 17 US, yeah, I'm gonna save easily like 10 US dollars. Not the end of the world, but it's nice to be able to do that. And we all live close enough, so I highly recommend that if you can do some group backing. But like if you don't want to deal with all the hassle and save like $10, yeah, I mean like here in the U.S. it's nice and cheap, but in a lot of the spots like these all look fairly good. Let me know in the comments like if your area doesn't look as nice for like the shipping compared to other campaigns, right? It's all relative. But when I looked at this, I was like, wow, that's great. Like this seems like a good deal. And you also have to remember though that when you if you were to get retail, a lot of local stores you could pick it up at your store, or if you buy enough stuff, a lot of these local flag stores will have free shipping after a certain price point. So the shipping looks good, and they say, hey, we got retail orders. So they say, what about Direwolf? So they say, hey, here's who we are, and they go into the risks and challenges. So they fully admit this is the first Kickstarter. So that's the thing I want to talk about quickly is that why come to Kickstarter? So they say, because in the facts, they say, why did we choose Kickstarter? Kickstarter helps players discover new games and helps creators build relationships directly with the fans. These both seem like good things to us. Now this is where I'm a little bit of a mean critique. That seems a little bit bogus. What I truly think is that they saw the potential, so that's there of coming to a crowdfunding. This is truly let's put the truth to it. This is a glorified pre-order with some risk involved. Very minor in this case. This is a well-known company. They made Dune Imperium. They got Clank. Like they got some top-selling games, right? So there's pretty much zero risk in my opinion of like outside of like shipping ends up being an arm and a leg and we're not protected under that, and now we've already put so much in. I think the game's going to deliver without an issue. What they're really trying to do is, though, is that they're by doing this, they're going to increase the profit margins. Even when you, for those unaware, because like backer kit is going to take a percentage and Kickstarter is going to take a percentage. It's about like 10 to 12%. There's like some filliness with that, but on average, I believe it's about 10 to 12% of whatever they raise is going to go to that. But even with that amount, now that they're not going to like a good portion of all the backers here, the retails are taking that portion. They're going to make still make more money than if it went to retail. So it's more money in their pockets. What they're doing on top of that is saying, much like when you buy stuff on your credit cards and you get this rebate bonus thing. They're like, hey, we're going to give you a kickback. Is that hey, we make a little bit more money. We're going to put a little bit more stuff in, because that ties in with this here that I have, right? To say, why back now instead of just waiting for retail, which is a fair question, right? And they say, in addition to having the benefits of supporting Direwolf directly, which if you like the company, I'm happy to support them because I have Dune Imperium, and I before I got that, I was playing a lot on TTS Club, and I said, "Hey, I gotta buy this game, even if I don't play it locally," which I have now. But even if I don't play it locally, I've played it so much on TTS Club. It's such a fun game for me. Yeah, so I enjoy supporting companies like that. Um, but they go on to say that yeah, the stretch goals may or may not be included in like the retail, and they're probably just going to be directly on their website or as like additional promo items. So you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck. And so I ran the numbers, and at least on the Canadian side, at a $99 pledge with the taxes and all that, it seems like a good deal. I think this is actually cheaper. And it's one of those rare cases. For me, it seems like it's going to be cheaper than when it comes to retail. Depends on how much retailers want to cut their own profits. But it seems like it's going to be cheaper than what's going to go to retail, especially when you add in all the promo stuff. It seems like a good deal. So I'm very happy to back it instead of waiting for retail. But uh, should you do that? Here's my thought process. If you've played the Clink Legacy, like I mentioned, the original, and you loved it, go ahead and back this. But take that with a grain of salt. With our local flag stores, a lot of them are having challenges and whatnot. And if you want to support your local store, like talk to them about potentially getting it through them when they do this. So you say, hey, like I'd like to go through them. Um, because that's a other option. And that's one of my counterpoints here I want to talk about is that Direwolf, being a well-established gaming company now, I have some frustrations with them going to Kickstarter because I don't think they need this in any shape. I think they're going to make more money and they're going to see how this goes if they're going to want to continue to do more crowdfunding. But this is, as I mentioned, a glorified a pre-order. That's all it really is. I mean, they say an estimated of June 2024, and I suspect that they'll probably hit that without issue because the game is looking like it's well established. They probably still have some artwork and they got a few things here and there, but yeah, this is a glorified pre-order. They're testing the waters, and I'm sure it's going to do extremely well. Like I said, it's already raised over close to 400,000 US. I think it's going to hit a million without issue here. But let me know. Because my concern is that the middle man, and some people don't like the middleman when I mention it here, is the brick and mortar game store. So that's the life and blood, right? So we're in this new era of like hybrids of crowdfunding is really like a lot of the best games are coming out on crowdfunding. Even myself, I back a lot of Kickstarter and GameFound campaigns versus going to my resale stores, but still my local stores I do try to support. So yeah, I don't know because this would be an excellent game, but I mean it's the same as Frosthaven, and like Frosthaven's even more interesting because I did back Frosthaven on crowdfunding. Luckily I did so because in that case there was such a delay. The value went up. Like the cost retail would have been over doubled because I think I paid 100 US and it was like the MSRP is now like 300 US. It's crazy for that one. So, but my besides my rant, my what I'm trying to get at is that let me know in the comments what you think. Should they have come on crowd funding? Was it a smart decision? Would you have rather have gone through retailers? And remember, you still can support your local retailers if you want. Right, they're trying to support both ends. And let me know what you think of the campaign overall. Have you played Clink Legacy, the original one? Are you excited for this one? Are you going to jump in this one before playing the other one? That's another item. I don't. This is a completely different story. You don't need to play this one. Um, the first one is established, right? It has an excellent rating. But yeah, let me know. So that's all. And it's been a while since I've done the video. Just been busy with life. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, this is looks pretty exciting to me. So that's all for now. I'll take care.